UK. Today our speaker is Maria and also Deji, and the Power BI learning community is being brought to you by Enterprise DNA and UrBizEdge. Enterprise DNA is a data platform where you can learn all about Power BI and how you can use it to change your business and, in better stage, to change the world. So they have a lot of courses and data challenges and events. So all you have to do is log into Enterprise DNA and you can get access to the courses, the events, and just have Power BI challenge to do currently. Also, again, UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel learning, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. They're also the developer of the Nigeria financial market data, which you can find in the Microsoft Office store. And this is the upcoming training calendar, and they also have online courses which you can also check out. Today, our guest speaker is Maria, and Maria is a certified data analyst. She's also my screen is okay. She also works in the global public health space. She's also passionate about human capital development, and she has also coached over 500 data analysts in the tech community. And followed by Maria, our second guest speaker is Jeji. Hello, Jeji.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I hope
Good
you can all
afternoon.
hear me.
Okay.
Yes, we
So
can hear you.
maybe Deji might help us to do a bit more intro, and if you can grab for us your LinkedIn so we can share with people. So actually, Deji will be doing the bulk of today's presentation, but it's courtesy Maryam too, and Maryam is also going to do another presentation to us, but we couldn't get so much on his intro early enough to share it to everyone. So, but he will talk more about himself, so we can get to know him, and then he will share maybe ways we can connect if he prefers Twitter or LinkedIn, so that he gets to also benefit from having us be his Okay, so Mr. Deji, over to you, sir.
Okay, good evening, everybody. You're welcome to today's session. My name is Deji Fan, which means Deji Fanio, and you can find me by that name anywhere on the internet. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just search for Deji Fan or search for The Analyst. I'm the creator of The Analyst, so I use the The Analyst hashtag or the The Analyst community just majorly to share my thoughts on data analysis and the likes. And what else again? Yes, I'm a data analyst. I have 7 years experience analyzing data and working in reporting in general. So I think that is that. Then we'll just go straight into our data. Please let me know if you can see my screen before
Yes,
we
I
then
can
Thank
see
you
it now.
very
proceed.
much.
Okay.
So today I'll be working majorly with police data in the United Kingdom. Police data in the United Kingdom. So how to get here is easy. You come here and you just type police, type data, and you type UK. Enter. Nothing special yet. And then you come here. I hope you can still see my screen because the Teams is popping up.
No, yeah, we
No,
can
we
still see your
see.
screen.
Okay, so please, I also want to know by show of hands how many persons in this room actually have Microsoft Power BI on their laptop. By show of hands, how many people have Microsoft
Okay.
Power BI?
Like okay, 3 people. Okay, everybody actually has.
Amazing. Good. The highest number says 10.
That's them.
What about the others? Microsoft Power BI. If this is your first time of hearing, okay, it says 11 now. If this is your first time of hearing Microsoft Power BI, let me know in the comment section now. This time around, comment section. We're 12 here. Let me know in the comments. Oh, we're 16 rather. In the comment section, if it is your first time of hearing about Microsoft Power BI. Nobody in the comment section. Nobody's in the comment section. First time hearing about Microsoft Power BI.
Okay. I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
Everybody knows
I guess,
about it.
yeah.
Oh, somebody says something. It has been
The person
difficult
uses
to
a Mac.
use. Okay. So with MacBook, there are 3 options for you. you might decide to boot your MacBook whereby you have your Macintosh environment in one place and you have a Windows environment in one place, and then you install your Microsoft Power BI in there. Secondly, you can tell them to sign up for Azure. When you sign up for Azure Cloud, and then you customize your Azure and then download Power BI there. Now, the issue with Azure is that it's going to give you $250 free, but you have to still input your card. But it should, in case you forget and you then how to use 250, you then you'll be charged. But most times you might not actually be charged, because right now the CBN policy that has reduced the amount you can use on your card actually limited. So Azure is a way to go through it, or then you go through and do booting your MacBook. Any of those two would actually work. Please let me know if I can proceed. If you have any questions, comment section, you can use comment section, or then you then unmute yourself. Are we good to go?
Yes.
I want to ensure that no, I don't want the two hosts to respond to me.
The
I want
the other guests, they can't speak, they can only chat. So
yes. So please. Okay.
We've had
So please
issues
just
where people bombarded and background noise, so we limited people to chats.
Yes, I can relate to that. So please always use the chat box. You want to ask a question, use the chat box. Okay, is that how we can lower everybody's hands? Please, can we all lower our hands? People who are still raising their hands. So either you raise your hands or you just type the question, or just ask in the comment section. Please, can you unmute me? So please, you just ask to be unmuted. You'll be unmuted, and then let's have a conversation. So I hope we all knew how we got here. Let me click back. Data police in the UK. And we came here to data. Then from data, we're going to open data. From open data, we just scroll down. We're working with remuneration. And you just download remuneration. I've downloaded remuneration twice, so that's why I'm showing this again. I've downloaded it twice. So having said this, it's now time for me to share my Power BI screen with us. So right now I'm going straight to I'll stop sharing and then share Power BI only now, because everything we're going to be doing, we're going to be working in or within the Power BI. From importing the data to every other thing, we're going to be working within Power BI. Now, yeah, I hope you can all see my Power BI screen. It is the old version. I sometimes prefer to use the old version than the latest version, because sometimes when these new versions come in, it tends to throw me off my feet, and I'm always trying just to sit down and understand it all over again. But I just prefer the old version, and I'm fine with this. In case you have questions, please can type in the comment section. Please unmute me, and someone will unmute you, and then we'll move forward from there. So we'll start with importing data in the Power BI. Just like every other Microsoft tool, and there is always a ribbon. So this in Microsoft, where you have file, home, insert, all these things, it's called the Microsoft ribbon. It's in almost all the Microsoft tools you can think of. You can think about. The way they are actually customized is tend to be different from each other. So the ribbon from Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, the whole Office suite has got a ribbon. Now Power BI, then here has a ribbon. So here we then go and we're going to be importing the data. The data type is a CSV. And the full meaning of CSV is comma separated value. Comma separated value. So we click on this comma separated value, it loads, and then opens our computer and asks, hey, where and where do you actually want to download the data from? So this is the data remuneration. We'll click on it and then we open. Note that Power BI can work with different types of data. It can work with CSV, it can work with any of the Excels. And there are different types of Excel formats. There's the XLS. Apologies, I can't pronounce this thing to save my life. But I think I'll just rather chat it than just disgrace my local government. Okay, so let me even ask first for a start. Who can tell us the different? Oh, somebody says a written procedure to download. Oh, that's going to be something, but I think this is a recorded class and the recording might be shared, or you can actually go and listen to it or watch it over and over again. So I'll type in the different types of Excel formats. I'll type in the first one and then ask that you then type in the others. So please, can you then type in different Excel formats in the comment section? I want to engage and ensure we are all discussing or we're all on the same page. We are 23 here. It will be good if anybody can just give. Okay, so you can do that after class. Thank you. Okay, yes, Doing says CSV, Ifeanyi says XLSML, yes. Yes, continue. We still have more Excel formats than this, yes. Boluatife, good stuff. Next one. Any other person, more Excel formats that we have? Okay, good. So now we're then trying to import the data. I think I should do it again so you don't just think I perform magic. You come to CSV, all these ones are different sources of data. We can pick data up from. We pick up the data set, we send it here, and then Hula, we then have this coming here. So we can either load or transform the data. You can either load or transform the data. So for a start, let us load the data. The data will then load and then come into Power BI. So it's taking a while to come into Power BI. I don't know if Microsoft Teams can. I don't know if Microsoft Teams can annotate. Not sure if Microsoft. Okay, Ibukun, yes. What do you say? Yes, go ahead. You can always ask me.
Is that annotate? Like, give me like a transcript of the session.
No. Where I can write in the screen.
Oh,
but that's fine. No. Okay. So see, we can all see here that my screen remuneration data is loaded. It's loading into the Microsoft Power BI. Now, here in the fields, I hope we can all see my cursor that is dancing around. Here in the fields, this is where the data is going to come in and show. So see, it has loaded and it says the data, we have 262 rows of data. So this data talks about police salaries, their benefits, and the likes. And with this, we'll be building a report. And please, we're going to be doing it together. Now, before actually building a report, there's always what we call the requirement gathering. Requirement gathering is actually what influences the reports, is what tells us what we are going to build, how we are going to build it, and the likes. So this remuneration data, the name is quite long. So why not just rename it into something else? So when you right click, you have rename option here. Right click here. You then have the rename option. So let's rename it to something very, very short. It's always good that your data be short. Rem. Now, it's going to say it's working on it, and now we have then worked on it. So from here, we will then go straight to home, and then we would then take a look at the data. Okay, let's use data view first to take a look at the data before launching the Power Query Editor. So here we're on the data view, and then we want to take a look at the data, see what is actually happening in the data, and then we can then. So here it says column 1, column 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the likes. Okay, that's fine. Says Avon, which is just his column name, Avon and this, acting chief constable, an amount of money, etc. Let us scroll. So we are scrolling, we just see different columns and the like. So from data view, this is where we are. Let's then go to reports or model. No, sorry, model view. I said reports. Now in the model view, this is only one sheet or one table. Now, one of the main reasons I went to this data set is because number one, it is one sheet or one table, and I didn't want to do a lot of explanation with data cleaning, and also do a lot of explanation with report building, and then data cleaning, modeling, and report building. I was not sure I was going to finish the three of them. So I took a table, just a single table that will clean the data and then start building visuals within 1 hour. So I will do my best to quickly finish. So right now, first thing first, we go to what we call transform data. Transform data. So we click on transform data, and then we begin the journey. One of the very, very critical things about data analysis is that data transformation, data cleaning is one very, very critical part. A particular, I don't want to call him an influencer, or at least he's got very good following on online, and he talks about data analytics and the likes. Said something, I think yesterday afternoon, and he's based in India, and people have been dragging him. So we just actually felt he might not actually have been a data person. And what did he say? He said, as a data scientist, he spends 80% of his time building models. And then people then started dragging him. Once you are in data, either a data analyst, a data scientist, the biggest thing we do is cleaning data. Only if you are a data engineer. Data engineers might not actually need to clean data so often. They actually, what they do is they build pipelines and the likes. They do a lot of building, so they might not actually be in process of data cleaning every day. But there's no house. Once in a while, they also need to clean data if they need to build a dashboard. So can we all see my Power Query editor? Let me know in the comment section if you can see my Power Query editor. Everybody just type yes in the comment section if you can see my Power Query editor. Please type yes in the comment section so I know if you can see my Power Query editor. Okay, Doyin says yes. After Doyin, who else again can see my Power Query editor? I want to ensure I'm carrying everybody along before moving forward. Okay, Babatunde Adebaya says you can share. Okay, so I will then maximize it so we can then move forward. Now, here then, you see at first, we're not seeing this first rule. The first rule that shows forces, chief officer, etc. We're not seeing it. All we were seeing was just this column 1, column 2, and R1 constables and the likes. And then here, what we have here, see, where am I highlighting? This is what we call the M code. I'm going to repeat this. This is what we call the M code. The M code, you can majorly use the M code only within Power Query Editor. Yes, go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, so
Yes,
there's someone has his raised up. Two people.
Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah.
No. Just unmute them, or please, if you
Yeah.
want to ask a question,
Hi.
That's
just
first.
please.
Yeah.
Deji, we can't see the Power Query because you're only sharing the
Yeah.
Power
Okay.
BI
Yeah.
desktop
Oh,
page.
okay. Oh, sorry. Whenever you maximize, yes, I can remember now. I think it's a Teams function. I'll stop it and then share.
Oh no. So when you're sharing,
Yeah.
there's the second option. I think when you picked share your particular screen.
Window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Share
particular
all
windows. Yeah. So share all windows. That will. So any pop up. I see the pop
So
up.
that would be share screen.
Yeah, share screen.
Entire screen.
Yeah. So can we all see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I would highlight this. Now, this set of codes I highlighted is what we call the M code. And I'll tell you, it's one very question I've had interviewers ask over and over again, the M code. Now, what here in the M code, the interviewers will ask you what's the difference between the M code and DAX. What's the difference between the M code and DAX? So the M code is, you can use the M code within Power Query Editor, but you can use DAX inside Power BI Desktop. I'll come again, please write that down. They are very, very critical technical questions that interviewers ask time and time again. M code can be used or is used only within Power Query Editor, while DAX is used inside the Power BI desktop. So right now we now have the first rule as the header. So how then do we delete this one and then bring it here? How do we delete this very first rule and then make it the very first rule on top? And this column, either we remove it, delete it, or we throw it away anyhow. So what we then do is we come here to use first rule as headers. Use first rule as headers. Please, I want us to actually interact in this class, please. I don't want to be the only one talking. So now, so for any action you take within the Power Query Editor, it is always recorded here in the applied steps. So cancel it, it comes here. We promoted header, let's cancel it. Now you then see it again. So I'll come here, I'll click on use this as this, and then it changes this. So now this is now the query, the headers that we then need to work with. So from this now, right now, the next thing we then go to is then we'll now start transforming the data. Now we want to work with salaries now. We want to work with salaries. So we have the forces, which is Avon and Somerset. We have Bedfordshire. They are all UK names. It's Miriam that can pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it. We have Essex, Gloucestershire. I cannot pronounce all these things, please. We didn't come for vocabulary or English class. It's probably what we came to do. But the same, work on your English though. So here then we'll then transform this or change this. We want to be able to work with this now. £90,000, this is money. We cannot then say that this is actually a text. So how then do we transform from text to whole numbers or to numbers and the likes? Who can please let's also try as much as well. Just raise your hands if you want to try, so we can then unmute you and then we talk. I really like to have a very engaging class and not a one-way class. Toby is laughing. Please, let's do it. We need. Oh yeah, Opemi Agbaje. Please, can somebody unmute them?
So I've omitted them.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Hi, good evening. So you can actually click on where your mouse, where your cursor is now, the ABC.
Okay.
Then change it to fixed decimal number.
Okay, good. Who else has something else again to say? Error. Yes, so this is a very popular means, or what the speaker just said, the person just said. Yes, it's a good way to actually transform or clean the data and the likes, depending on the lingo you want to use. But the issue here is it comes with the pound sign. So the computer is trying to transform pounds either to whole number or decimal, and it's seeing that pounds as an error. So I would cancel this and see. No matter what we change it to either fixed decimal, decimal number, whole number, it always comes out with an error. Why? There's a pound sign there. So I'll show you two methods of actually cleaning this data, either with mcode or with just Power Query, just using click and drop Power Query. So the very first thing we will then do is we'll right click. Okay, we've clicked on this already. Then we'll go to split column, and we'll split by number of characters. Okay. Now, before you do anything on any column, always duplicate the column. Excuse me. Always duplicate the column. Before you perform any action on a column within Power Query Editor, always ensure that you do what? You duplicate the column. From duplicate column, you then split number by character. Go to split columns and you split numbers by character to then load. Then it then tells you by how many characters you want to split. I want to split it by the first character. I want to have pounds removed and then have the numbers removed. So I do pounds and I'll use left, which is left. Okay. Once as far left as possible. I mean once in the extreme left. Once in the, don't worry if it's wrong, we'll come back and use once right extreme left or repeatedly. So click on OK, and then it splits it. So here you then see we then have salary copy.1 pounds. And then we then move here, we then have the numbers. And see, immediately the pound sign was removed. We then have only numbers. Can we all see this? We then have only numbers. Please, in the comment section, I need to know if we all understood this method before we move further. If you understood these methods, somebody wants to speak, or is nobody speaking again? If you, yeah, go ahead.
It sounds to be raised up, but
yes, please always unmute them. Oh boy,
yeah, I'll mute it. It's just not.
Okay. Okay, so I have one person says understood. Can we all type yes under understood if we understood the process I just did? I'm going to show you another process. This is not the only one. I'll remove this. And this whole number, I can just change it to either fixed decimal. Now it works straight. Or this one, replace the current step. That then comes with a dot. Any of this. Or I can also just delete it as well too. Duplicated column. Are we all here? I need to know how many conversations we have. Yes, clear, beautiful. So next one, I'm going to be showing us how to use the M code to also clean this type of data as well too. The M code, this is the M code here. Sorry, my laptop is hanging. Okay, it's back now. This is the M code here. We'll then show you how to use this M code here, then to clean the data. So as usual, you click on your duplicated column. It is critical to always ensure that you have a duplicated column. Then you come here to transform. No, add column. Come here to add column. You've clicked on salary here. You come here to add column. From add column, you come to custom columns. Custom column, you put custom column. Let's call it custom column 11. Then you type here and you put remove. And then remove text. Is it remove? I think remove dot text. Is it text remove? I know it's text and remove. I don't know which comes first. Okay, I think it is text dot remove. Okay, so it's text dot remove. See, you don't need to cram all of these things. You see, immediately I put the parentheses, it then gives me say text, nullable text, comma, removes characters as any. You do not need to cram all these things. The only thing you need to do is to understand it. I'll come again. You don't need to cram all this M code. Just understand what you want to do. What we want to do, we want to remove the very first text. Now, because the data type of that salary is text, so we want to remove the very first string within the text. Scroll down, you click on copy, salary copy, you insert it in here. Then it now writes, okay, the salary, this is the column name. This is the column name. The column name it has put here. Then you put a comma, you put a curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, you put the double quotes. And then on my own keyboard, I do not have the pound sign. The pound sign. So I'll come here and just copy the pound sign. See? Copy the pound sign and I put it here. Control V. Then after I close the parentheses, you see? It tells me no syntax error has been detected. But if I remove the parentheses or this thing is not complete, you say, see, token right paren, meaning parentheses expected. So you just put parentheses here. What we want to do, we just want to remove this pound sign from the whole column. That's all. Then you click on OK. You see? And this is the M code here in full. Please, if you have questions, let me know, because once I finish this step, we're just jumping steps and we're going to dashboard into building the dashboard. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask. Oh, trust
so you can talk.
Thank you.
Especially the M code command.
Okay, definitely. I will do that again. Is that the only question?
No, someone says it's raised up, but the person is not talking. I don't. You can mute. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, hi.
Well done. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes. My own contribution is that I enjoy what you are doing. I want to see that if we use replace value to do what you just done now. If you select that column and click on replace value, then we choose that fund and replace it with nothing.
Good submission. It's also something you can use. But the biggest issue with replace is that you can always just be replacing something with nothing. Sometimes it can even lead you to another error again. But splitting column has always never failed. I'll tell you, especially when you're dealing with currencies like this. If you can split column, then you can also use, you can even write a DAX using either left, right, mid to actually strip it. But those ones also comes with their pros and cons. But these two ones I've shown you have always never failed. Believe you me. Oops, Control Z. Come here. curly bracket, Control C, Control V for the pound. Please, I need you to look into the screen and then see the M code. Very, very easy and straightforward. If you have more questions, this is the time to ask, because next, once we're done with this, we're just going straight into building dashboards. I mean building visuals. More questions, please. I believe Boluwatifer's question is the last one. Okay.
Yeah, no more questions. No more questions.
Good. So having done this, we have just shown how to just clean the data. And see, this one still says ABC123. Then you can then change the data type. Now see, for you to also understand that it is numbers, it's always on the right hand side. Numbers are always on the right hand side, while text are on the left hand side of your column. The left end of the column and the right end. Numbers are always on the right end of the column within Power BI. Text is always on the left end of the column within Power BI. So please, questions before we move forward. We're just going to be building visuals once we're done now.
So the question, how do you fix duplicates?
How do you
fix duplicates?
feel?
No, fix. Like, how do you
Fix.
fix duplicate?
Okay. So this one right now, we'll just rename and we'll delete this copy. Salary underscore. I have the pound sign on my keyboard. Why not just write pounds? So this salary copy, you then delete. So anytime we need salary in pounds, we come here and we just use this. Are we good? Please let me know if you can move forward. So the benefits here as well too. Who would also like us to also clean? Should we also clean this benefit too? Now, the person who brought up
one more question.
Suggestion. Okay, the person who brought up suggestion. Go ahead, unmute yourself and talk.
I think Trust was his name. Yeah, Trust.
Yeah, Trust, please. Person who was talking about replacing this pound with something. Now, this one is empty. Yes, go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Oh, sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the class. It's really interesting, and I'm enjoying it. Let me quickly go straight to. I was asking, like in some columns, you do have duplicate values, not duplicate columns. The columns, I know it's easy to just take it out. On the like cleaning the data, then you find values which are actually the same. Yes. Like, yes, how do you remove them in that case?
So within Power BI, there's remove duplicates. There's remove duplicate value. See, delete. Okay, no, that's for manage. Move columns. Keep rows. Where is this?
Remove duplicate.
There's remove duplicate somewhere.
Yeah, you have to right click. I think that's one. Maybe right click.
Okay, this is it. Remove duplicates.
Yes. Okay, I've seen that.
So that's something about Power BI. The way to work with Power BI, or the way we work within, not Power BI, within Power Query, because Power Query is inside Power BI. We just remove the duplicate.
Okay, thank you so much. Can I ask the second question? Sorry, I'm keeping you. I just want to learn something.
That's why we're here.
Okay.
You don't have to apologize. Okay. Even if I don't know it, we will all learn it at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you so much. For example, if an item, a value, for example, you have 10 values, and it's the values comes in the same, for example, salary in January, salary, you have 20, let me say 20 rows and 20 values in the column, and
Okay.
and somehow it's from January to December, and then the remaining, let's say 6 months, 18 months, and the other month now has the same value, and they all come under the same column, like 18 months of the same, like January to December. Then they start from this January again to December, let's say, and they have the same value. How do you now match this or make them a value? Because now you want to work on it, just one particular set of data or set of values. I don't know if you get my question.
Okay. Yes. So I would assume you're in finance.
I do business also, and I'm learning I'm learning this also. So I think, yeah.
Okay. So for finance data, before you clean it, a good understanding of what you are doing.
Okay.
Because I said something earlier and I said I'll need every one of us to work together in building this. Before you build a dashboard or anything, requirement gathering is really, really needed. Requirement is really, really critical. So for that salary, is it that you want to show salary of employees for a particular year? You don't need to use all the columns. Just pick one column, clean it, and move on. And sometimes when you have repeated values within the rows, once you remove all duplicate rows, it affects all the columns across board.
Okay.
So they are not in data cleaning and the likes, there is no one route or there is no one route to the market. There are different routes. That's why I showed two different ones. I showed how to split columns and I showed how to use M code.
Okay. No, I think
more questions, please.
No, I think it's understandable. Thank you so much, because
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much. All right.
Please, more questions. Questions leads to better learning. Now, a particular person was saying we should refill or replace the pound sign. What then happened to columns like this, that a bit to cells like this, that there's no pound? How then do we replace it? Or what happens to it? I'm just asking the person who asked the question. We have to move a little bit faster. Hello, who is the person? The person has gone silent.
Yes.
So what happens to the null?
Okay, it will be null. Yes, the null will remain null because it's 0, or you can even replace null with 0 if you want it. Using replace value, null can be replaced with 0.
Okay, that's fine. I also agree with that as well too.
And you can select all the columns at once and do the replacement at once.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just quickly run through this so we can just quickly move forward. Okay, I think we just use these two columns to build different reports. So we do not actually go way above time. So once we are done with anything you're doing in Power Query, always remember to close and apply. Oops, am I still sharing my screen? Can you see my Power BI screen, please? Because I moved from Power Query to Power BI. Please let me know in the comment section if you can see my Power BI screen. Yes, okay, Maryam can see my Power BI screen. Okay, good. Please, questions. If you have any questions, this is the time to then ask or raise your questions. So I'll quickly start with a text box. I'll put it to 24. I'll just quickly type police. Salary and benefits. Don't know why it's underlining UK. Is okay. K has to be capital. Highlight it and then align to the center. So align to the center, bold. This is the header. What else again can we do? Yes, we can change the font size. Let's use New Times Roman. Yes, you can then pick a particular color. I don't use color blue because of trust. I don't know how many of us actually trust police officers here. Okay, let's just keep it at black. We just use black and white. So see, the header is there already. Now, one very, very critical thing I need every one of us to actually understand when building visuals is that, building visuals for reports. Now, I need us to listen closely to do what I'm going to say next. A dashboard is a collection of visuals. A dashboard is a collection of visuals, but a report is a collection of dashboards. You get that? A dashboard is a collection of visuals. A report is a collection of dashboard. I hope it's clear. Do we all understand this before we move forward? Okay. If you understand it, just do a thumbs up in the comment section because I don't want to assume it's the same yes that we are moving with. Thumbs up in the comment section. Thumbs up, yes, just use a thumbs up in the comment section. I will do the first thumbs up so you see what the thumbs up looks like. You know where thumbs up is. Yes, Ibukun, good. A dashboard is a collection of visuals. A report is a collection of dashboards. Wait, Oluwatobi Yusuf, is it the same Tobi Yusuf? Or which one is this again? Muidin Agbola says he needs the site. Yes, it's an open source. Oh, and I should have even talked about meaning of data and the likes, open data and the like. So in this whole data set, the only data that is just numbers is this column and this column, salary in pounds and benefits. They are the two ones we cleaned to ensure that yes, they are in numbers. So we'll just be working with these two numbers and others. So very first thing first when creating dashboard is to create a table, put the numbers in it, and then put, let's put the forces. This on focus mode. So you can see the forces, each of the City of London, 0. Wonderful. So most of the time when we have 0 in the data, does not mean they don't have money, or it means that the data was most likely not recorded, or that particular cell or that particular column was skipped. Does not mean money was not involved or something. So these benefits in kind. So for this type of data, we are comparing benefits in kind and different areas or different cities. Benefits in kind and different cities. Benefits in kind and cities. Benefits in kind and cities. So let's speak. Okay, so who will give us in the comment section which visual should we use? Which visual should we use for something like this? Benefits in kind and different cities. I'll pick a dash out. I'll pick a stacked bar chart or stacked column chart, any of these two. But for this one here, please, if anybody has a question, please just unmute them. I won't want to actually be checking. Just unmute so you can ask straight. So for this one here, one thing we will do right now, we'll just filter it to the top 10. We will filter this to the top 10. So we'll just use benefits in kind here. We're going to do it two ways. We're going to use benefits in kind to filter to the top 10, and we'll also use the cities to filter top 10. So we'll just count the number of bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we can count the number of bars. Oh, sorry. We can even return to table. Instead of counting, return to table, click on these 3 dots, sort by benefits in kind, and then come here, sort in descending. Did you see what I did? Did you see the magic I just performed? I will undo it so I can start all over again. Sort by forces. So now we come here, we sort by the number, the amount, benefits in kind. So this shows the highest benefit, the top benefit, or the highest benefit, and then it keeps going down, 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 down. So the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 21,860. Come here, 21,860. You
So
come to benefit.
there's one question. Sorry.
Yes, please go
So,
ahead.
okay, so the question is, why don't we remove the none instead of replacing it with 0?
Beautiful. It is not in
Thank you.
every time. Good. It's not in every time we always keep removing null. Now, e.g., a city like London came out with 0. We can't always keep deleting. I would like to say this African proverb. There's an African proverb that says, cutting off the head is not always the solution to a headache. So always removing nulls is not always the answer. So I also explain more. So here, when I'm using greater than or equals to, and I then put the 21,860. Can somebody please share the? Okay, I'll quickly share. I forgot. I think I must have closed that window where I have the data set. Please, if you can share the link to the data set, whoever has it, share the link to the data set in the comment section. So
Okay, I'll share the link.
thank you. So now see what we have here. We have the top 10. We have the top 10 benefits of benefits in kind by the forces for top 10. So this is it. We go back to report. And then can't just have this like this. Just like a text box, you can play around and the like. So we can then move this. Okay, let's put this here on the ground. So having done this, you can then come here to format. Please, I need you to look into here and see the magic I'm going to do. And then scroll down to data labels. It is off. You can put it on. Then the numbers will appear. All the numbers will appear on it. You can also drop this down and then go into all the settings and the likes and still tweak it more. Then I'm trying how to
So there's one question.
yes, go ahead.
What scenario would removing the none be the best practice?
Almost in none. You know why?
Yes,
Once you remove null, please, I need you to look into this visual board as I'm doing. I just change the borders just from sharp edges to round edges. I'll do it again on the next table. So in no scenario will be removing nulls will be the best thing. Do you know why? Once you remove that row or the set of rows, you have lost a lot of data. You have lost data even in the other columns as well too. So removing nulls, and please, the comment section is open. We can argue for and against. For and against, please let us do that. If you actually want to against, say, or you have a different perspective, you are going to be losing data. So now we'll now be doing forces and salary in pounds. We want to see which force actually has the highest salary. So the first thing we did benefits. We said the top 10 forces that has the highest benefits. Now top 10 with highest salary. So we sort by salary in pounds, and then see is even the metropolitans, and then we sort in descending. So this one again, we then do another type of chart. Now notice we have done one chart that's facing different place. It is not always best practice to always have your chart facing the same place, always have the same line chart, everything. Now this time around, we also want to do top 10 again. We are not going to be working with the numeric. We'll be working with the factor. Or no, and with the text rather, it's not factor, with the text. First, we worked with numeric, which was the benefits in kind, that one in here inside filter. Now we're going to be working with this. So see, it says basic filtering, this and this one. Basic filtering, there's advanced filtering, this one says contains, etc. And there's a top N. So we'll just move to top N, and here we'll put top 10. And we'll drag salary in pounds here and put here, and we apply the filter. We also have a top 10 too. We also have another top 10. Click back. Remove this, drag it here. And then we go back to format again. Please, if anybody has questions, please, this is a good time to ask. Format data labels, we put it on. We go to general. Scroll down. Oh, sorry, general.
So there's a
Please
question.
ask your question. Yes.
It's very power query. So the question is, how do you calculate the null values in a particular column to show the percentage of the missing value? So she just asking, how can she tell there are none? Like, is there something that will display there's none?
Yes. Yes, we'll go back to Power Query again. I should have shown that, I forgot. That's what we call column distribution, column profiling, and the likes. Yes, there is. So just always ensure you stay away from using sharp edges. It doesn't really always look well on your report or in your reports. Oh, I should have even... Okay, so one thing I should have done is I should have just clicked on this. I totally forgot. Copy visual and paste it here. You know, I'm going to paste in the next one.
So there's a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Francis, you go on mute.
And you paste it here. So once you copy and paste a visual, you have the same size, and it is way faster for you to work with. Once you copy and paste a visual, you have the same size, and it is way faster for you to work with. Okay, yes, Francis, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. DG. There's a data set.
People are always thanking too much. Just go straight to the question. Time has go.
There's a data set I'm trying to work on and clean. It's about Nobel Prize winners. So just to buttress what you talked about null value, around over 300 the prize winners didn't attend university. Like their columns for university attended was null. So in the case, how can I represent that? Is it, for instance, I'm trying to say, okay, maybe top universities that has the highest, or maybe top 5 that has the highest prize winners. So, but null is, I think, second or so. So can I just put maybe didn't attend university or not educated? I'm kind of confused how to go about that.
So for null, you can put no or yes. Just put no, because okay, so in column of university to have university name, Abby. So when you have null, just put no. You know why? You can then do the total number of no's. Are you with me?
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I understand.
So now I'm also creating a card. So I'm also going to show us, we'll go back into Power Query and I'll show you about column profiling. Now, so this is a card now. How did I create it? I just clicked on card here and I clicked on, since this is the number, and you put into it. So here we can then do, this is sum. You can change it to average. The average benefits. Average, you can change it to minimum. What's the least, which is a 0, because that was not present. You can change it to maximum, which is just 1. You can change it to count. So meaning that we probably have, no. We're counting the benefits. This time around, we're supposed to count the forces or the city. So this for cards here, it is best to put in sum. Excuse me, you click on card, you also go back to general, you format. But let's go back to column profiling. Analyzing data without starting with data cleaning. Imagine if we're doing data, if we need data cleaning, we now want to go and do modeling. Then after modeling, we're now starting to do something else again. It's going to take us a while. So you can just click on this, come to drag this away from my screen. I'm sorry. The zoom something is blocking here. So I'm trying to drag it away. It's not going. It's gone. Okay. It's back again. Where is column profiling here? Okay, so this is under view. So you can then click column profiling. So see, it is under view column profile. So for each column, you can just click on each column and it will show you to the count, 261, errors, the empty, this one for the chief officer or the post title, nothing is empty here. Okay, distinct, the number of distinct and the number of the unique. Let's check for salary. Salary says empty is 0, but yeah, there's some salary that is empty. And also uncheck color and say distribution. So you see the distribution here straight up. See here, you can then click on remove duplicates. See, copy, keep duplicates, keep errors, remove the duplicates. This one will delete all the columns that are duplicated. Remove empty if you want to delete, but it doesn't make sense. Remove errors to replace errors. So let's try to remove duplicates and see if we have so many duplicates.
Oh, so one question. What's the difference between
go ahead.
unique and distinct?
Okay, beautiful. And that's also another thing we're also going to do with the cards that we actually did. So you just walk through this and then you have your column profiling. The person who asked the question, are we good? Can we move forward? I want to ensure that at least I try to cover what I can cover. The person who asked the question, are we good in this? No response?
But there's no response. But Francis has a question. So
yes, go ahead. Whoever has a question.
Just unmute. How?
So for this card here, I can copy and paste it so they are the same size. Control V, Control C still works. Uncheck. Check this one here. Count distinct. Francis. It's not here. But with this, I've already tampered with the size already. Card again. No more questions. Everywhere just went silent. Everybody wants to go. Then count. I think we use count distinct and we use count. Or what one? Okay.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if you've answered the question about distinct and unique.
Yeah, I think this should at least be able to answer this. Questions. So you can see that the three of them are all of the same size. Because I just copied and pasted the first one and I removed that one. I'm a bit scared how everywhere just went silent. How the comment section just went silent. I'll have loved to go into colors and the likes, but time will not. Okay. Oh, I've forgotten. So see what I want to do now. I'll highlight this control. I put one of my fingers on control. Control. Come to format. Format to general. My finger is still on control. To effects. Scroll down to visual borders. Open the visual borders, and the three of them is done at once. Oh, it didn't do it for these ones. What's up? Let's try it again. Control on both of them. Okay, so even if it does for one, you can just replace it by copy and paste. Copy, paste. And here you can just uncheck this. Put this and change it to extent count. What we have here. Click on delete, it goes off. You replace it here. Please, more questions, please. Everybody just went silent. Okay. I will see that as it's time for everybody to go home. Yeah. So I also talk about this about reports. Now, anytime you're doing a report, it is critical that all your numbers, it is based there on a straight line, either horizontally or vertically. If your numbers are vertical, it is critical that they have to be on the left side of the page, meaning that they are all sitting on themselves here. Well, I've loved to go into filters and the likes, deeper filters, slicers and the likes. I think I can still put a slicer. Let's then put a slicer and then put, what can we put in slicer? Slicer will have to be a factor. Yes, you can put forces. Forces. Yes, we can put force. No. Hey, wait, let's try then. Let's try. I've loved to do something else here. Please, more questions as. So this is why I was thinking about using, not using a slicer here.
Okay. Summary. Yeah. So you're asking for about what the session and what the session was to demonstrate. Okay. So the initial session was for crimes, but we so the speaker was feeling a bit under the weather. So JJ is filling in for the speaker, and so the session we're having a different session using the same data set, so just not crime analysis. This time we're looking at salaries and benefits, but we're going to reschedule for the session on crimes in a later date. Does that help?
So I think if I also add to that, one of the things this session is also to answer is about building reports. And one thing I said is not how we're going to be building reports, and we'll start with data cleaning. Then we may also dabble into data modeling, because I will not want us to use so much of our time explaining data cleaning and then explaining modeling, and then we have not built anything. That's why we came into this. Now, why I'm not using all of these other ones, because we still need to build, we still need to clean all this data and then come into here and then build more. So please question. Grace, please unmute yourself. Yes, it says, is there a way to edit the label? There are a lot of questions in the comment section. So you click here, you come here to format. From format, you look for title. If it's not here, you go to general, title is on, and then you give it, we'll just say top 10 benefits by the forces. Top 10 forces. Is it top? I think it's top 10 forces by benefits. Yes. Top 10. But in real life, they will tell you actually what you have to do. So from the requirements, you can then label it. Top 10 forces by benefits.
Okay, so there are two other questions.
Yes, please.
The first question is, so from the first chart, is there a way that to edit the label so that it will not be slightly, so it will not be slant?
This names here?
Yeah, the names here. So she wants it to be straight or.
Okay. So why I prefer it slant here, sometimes you can even totally take it off, is if everything is straight, this straight one is going to take so much space and push your chart up again. Get there. So you can also decide to change the text color. Okay, let's leave the text color black. You want to put it in the middle. The title, I'm still talking about title now, but most of the time, middle is good. And then we so we'll go to the x-axis, is the horizontal axis. So we'll go to the x-axis. Scroll down. I can't find this thing again. So one issue with Power BI is that they are always updating. There's always an update, and even this one I'm using is still the old version, believe you me. Once an update comes, it throws you off your feet and you are now start looking for what is not. Normally, what I majorly do is I download an already existing dashboard that's got all the formats and everything, and I'm just putting my own inside. You get? There's also how to do that, but that is for persons who has worked with it over and over. I download an already existing dashboard and then start putting my own inside. Show title only, auto. I can't find whoever has an idea can just unmute himself where this thing is. I don't know where it is.
X-axis, Y. So I'll go to the y-axis.
Okay.
No. Try turning it off. Let me see if that's the correct one. Try turning it off and turn it back on.
Why is the
okay? No. Okay,
vertical?
no. Yes, the vertical. Yeah. So it's x-axis. So you should look at
should
the
be
text.
somewhere in this auto.
No, that's the title. No. So go up.
That's
go
title,
to values. Go up. Go up. Values. Okay, wait. Let me try general. Let's see if we see that there.
Is that in general?
It's not here. It's not in general.
Digi, I think it's in the x-axis, but it's the font size or something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the other thing is, if you don't want it slant, maybe you can pick a different visual to represent the data.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And another thing is maybe the expansion of the visual. You can maybe put the cards and move them around, something like that.
I think it comes with the visual.
No, there's a way to change it. But if you increase the visual, you use a lot more space. And most time you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Especially with these long names.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's one more question. Someone was asking. Someone has answered. The question is, so when you're analyzing and you're visualizing your data, is there a way to determine what visual to use and what is best?
Yeah. Yes, good question. So there are always different visuals for different things, depending on what you want to solve. So e.g., anytime you are doing time series, e.g., you are doing salaries of workers for the past 3, 4, 5 years, or salaries of workers in the year, and you then put by departments, one particular department, January, and everybody in the department, January, their names and how much they're earning. It is critical to know that for each type of requirements, there is a visual. For time series, anytime you're doing comparison of time, which is maybe months, year, days of the week and something, there's what to use. So we majorly use either a line chart or a bar chart, just like these ones. I'll show you what a line chart is, or even an area map too. I'll click on this. Now move to, sorry. Within this is a line chart. So once you are doing a time comparison, time and the time, there are 3 things in time. It can be year, it can be month, it could be day, or even week, maybe week 1, week 2, week 3. So you always use bar chart, line chart, or area map. If you are doing something that has got to do with correlation, Correlation then deals with when you have two continuous variables. Then you majorly use a scatter plot just to see does one has effect on the other. E.g., trying to see two variables. I can give an example. Maybe price. Yes, price and what can we use? I can't remember. Maybe price. Price and time. No, price and time is not always a good thing to use for scatter plots. I'll look for a visual and send to Benny, and then he will send it. He will maybe put it on the YouTube link. You will see every one of them. There is what you use for what. There is what you use for what. There is when you use then. Okay, so let's break it down. Let's start from univariate analysis. Univariate analysis is when you are analyzing just a column. Just a column. So let's go back to transform data. You see inside column profile and the likes. When you're analyzing just one column, univariate analysis, you use a bar chart or histogram. Column distribution C. Column distribution C, they just use bar charts. These are bar charts. This is analyzing just one column. So here we have 43 distinct and the likes. Now here we have 72 distinct and 53 unique. Now, why the distinct and unique? Okay, let me also explain distinct and unique much more properly and deeply. So this one we have chief constable. Chief constable is unique, but here we still have temporary chief constable, meaning that somebody was put there temporary. We have acting chief constable. They are all offshoots of chief constable, but we know that they are not actually the chief. Okay, like deputy chief constable too. They are offshoots of chief constable. So that's the difference between distinct. Another difference between distinct and unique. Here, we have temporary deputy chief constable. Like that. You can just see different one-off splits here and there like that. So I was actually using that to explain univariate analysis. Univariate analysis is when we are analyzing one column or one variable. One column, yes, majorly one column or one variable or a particular field. Now, bivariate analysis, when you're analyzing two variables together, what we have done here in both of them here is a bivariate analysis. What we've done, both of them here, both bar charts here, is a bivariate analysis. So for bivariate analysis, yes. So bivariate analysis, we also do it's majorly time series, time charts, something as regards time. So bar charts, line charts, and the likes we use for bivariate analysis. So when we are then doing comparison, and comparison also depends on the type of data. Once you're doing comparison of two continuous variables, then a scatter chart comes into place. Then I'll tell you, never use a pie chart. I feel that it's actually totally useless. I would rather you use a donut chart than a pie chart. So when then do you use a donut chart? You can even see it here from donut charts. It's majorly when you have two variables that you can easily just see just from a single glance. I'm not sure here there's something we can actually put in a pie chart, but let's put this and you'll see. This does not actually this should be in legend. This should be okay. Now, so see, using a donut chart for this does not make sense. The data here is too much. We call this too much information. So you do not expect somebody to be squinting or to be checking them one after the other. No, that's not a report. That's punishment. So you see, the variables here are just way too much. So a donut chart is not good. You only use a donut chart when you have two variables. One is 60, one is 40. So at first glance, you can easily see it. 60, 40, 70, 30, 80, 20. You should never use 49, 50, 51%. You know where it is too close, and then trying to view it will be really be a bit hard. So please, more questions while I just round off. I'm sorry, yes, there's still some much more critical things I did not touch here, like the x-axis and the y-axis. What to put on the x-axis, always try as much as possible to put your text or strings data here. While on the y-axis, just put values. values, values or numeric. So e.g., you can just easily move it to average. See, average easily moves. Minimum. So it shows you the minimum of each of the top 10 states. This one forces, see here, there's really little or nothing you can change it to. Because why? It's a text. Now this one here is what? A number. So there's a lot you can do within numbers. So beautiful. See now, count. So within this one, count, we have 10 different salaries here in this state, 4 different salaries, no, so 4 different benefits rather, 5, 10, different. So please, questions before we then call it a day. I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody for joining and then turn the meeting over to the hosts. I'm sorry I took 20 minutes more. Questions, please.
Yes, I think there's a new message. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Ibukun, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming. And then I'm handing over right now to the hosts. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so Francis has a question.
Yeah, Francis, go ahead.
All right, wonderful section. Thank you so much. Where do you do your data cleaning? Do you use Excel, or you just load your data to Power BI and you do your cleaning? Power Query. That's number one. Number two, of course, we know Excel has limit. For instance, there was a challenge, I think May or so, Marvin Tegzi. I think he has 4 data sets and it exceeded Excel. So I know a bit of SQL, but how do you do your data cleaning? Like, what is your advice with your years of experience? Should I do it on should I do my cleaning with SQL, or I can load on Power BI and do my cleaning? Sometimes I get overwhelmed, and I think I really don't understand the difference, because I know, of course, there are data that you can't load on Excel because it has exceeded the number of I think the column and rows. Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francis. Miriam wants to ask an answer. Go ahead, Miriam.
Digi, I think you should answer first, and then I want to chip in afterwards.
Okay. I do data cleaning. It all depends. So I work as a consultant, and it depends on what the client has. If the client does not have SQL or a database, I won't actually do it in SQL or database. I'll actually do my data cleaning in Power BI. As long as it's a data source, sometimes the data source can even be a website or something, or sometimes they send you the data in Excel. I don't use Excel so much. So, excuse me, I send it into Power BI and then I do my data cleaning within Power Query. So in this class, we also did a few data cleaning. That's if you joined on. We started with using first rows as headers, and then dealing with one role, and then fixing one role per time. Have I answered your question properly? Hello, Francis. Did I answer the question, or did I leave anything out?
Yes, you did. But is there a limit for the size of data in terms of rows and column you can load on Power BI? Or
Yes, there is a limit. So within Power BI, if you're working with R inside Power BI, you're limited to working with 150K rows, 150,000 rows of data. So all of these things, all of these tools tend to have 1 or 2 limits. So Power BI is majorly a front-end tool. Front-end tool to actually build dashboards and the likes. Okay, so somebody's asking storytelling with data. Storytelling with data is a book. It's a classic and very popular book for actually building reports and the likes. So as I was saying, all of these tools all have their limitations. They're just about building reports, building visuals and the likes. So I was also talking about okay, where you clean data. All of these tools has their pros and cons. I hardly use Excel. I majorly use Power BI. So I can use Power BI and SQL, integrate Power BI to SQL, and then from there start building my reports. And clean the data in SQL or clean the data in Power BI. It all depends on the client and what the requirement is. If the client does not have a database, why not? You still have to do the work and move on. Questions. We've spent 1 hour, 19 minutes, 48 seconds. If we have questions, please. Yeah. Miriam, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to apologize for not taking the session. They did a fantastic job, so I look forward to taking my own session soon. The other thing I just wanted to say about where to clean the data is as big data evolves, Microsoft has a lot of materials and like importing data, so things around direct query and just importing the data and things like that. But as a rule of thumb, especially if you're working in a database capacity, you want to think of cleaning your data as close to the source as possible. So if you have data coming from a database, for instance, SQL Server, you want to bring the data you're bringing into Power BI, you want to try to clean as much as possible there. And you want to even do some form of staging. So I know with the new updates with data mats, more people will build data mats within Power BI Premium. But I mean, there's also debates around SSIS, so analysis services, and staging your data around there. But just always have it at the back of your mind that it's better to clean your data as close to the source as possible, because you can actually slow down performance in Power BI if you import a lot of data into Power BI. So you just want the data coming into Power BI to be a capture of the analysis and insights you're trying to build. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so just one more question again. So how long does it take to master Power BI? And can one have a mentor in this journey?
Practice make perfect. That's the answer. Practice make perfect. The more and more you're practicing, the more and more Power BI is also updating their software, and you have to start learning all over again. I think it just left it. The ball is in your court. You need to practice, you need to work with it. It's a tool that if you work with it on a daily basis, the better you become. As I said earlier, I said normally for me, I just look for a report template, I download it, and then I just start plugging all the variables into it, plugging this, plugging that into it. So over to you, Miriam. I think Miriam wants to say something.
Yes, as a learner myself, because we're all learning Power BI, I'm currently taking the 100 Days of Data cohort, and one of the biggest success points within the cohort has been people who follow the Power BI learning path. That's the Microsoft Learn. You might have it at the back of your mind that it's because you want to write the certification exam. That's one way to go. But another way is the learning path covers the basics of how to toggle different functions in Power BI. I think the biggest scare point for a lot of people is with DAX. And so what I would say with that is, and it's so great that Enterprise DNA powers UrBizEdge, because they have some of the best introduction to DAX courses, and they're free. And they're available on YouTube. So I don't know if the team here wants to like put some of the links there, but when I started with Power BI in 2019, I became a member of Enterprise DNA, and those materials really helped me with DAX. But as you have seen with Deji's presentation today, you don't need to know DAX off the bat to actually present something. As you advance in the field, you start to do some analysis with DAX, but off the bat, there are lots of things you can do without DAX. What you want to prioritize is the data coming into Power BI should be clean enough. Your relationships should be should make sense enough for you to know where can you find what data and how is it related to another data. That way you can still create visualizations and reports without DAX. But as you incorporate the learning path and understand what each visualization does, I see that a lot of people are talking about storytelling with data, but even on the learning path for Microsoft, they actually have a comprehensive materials on what visualization to use with what. If you have a MacBook, don't worry about not being able to install Power BI desktop, because on the learning path, there's a sandbox environment where you can play with Power BI, you can learn Power BI, and you can then decide if you want to invest in purchasing a laptop that you can install Power BI into. But the point is, approach Power BI with that mindset that there's a lot of resources out there for you. And the best way to go about it is to start from the known to unknown and start from the easiest. You're not going to build the nicest financial report by opening Power BI today. It might take you 6 months. Even people who have been doing Power BI for years will tell you that sometimes they're like, now wow, when will this thing like make sense? You also will benefit a lot from asking people questions. Ask Deji. I'm always in his neck asking him 1 million questions, and other people as well. So that's what I wanted to say. So just to round it up, learning path, enterprise DNA, honestly, I recommend all the time. And yeah, follow the learning path and just pick data sets. And then also with enterprise DNA, they even have showcases, but not just them. There's so many other like platforms that have showcases of people's PBIX files that they've done like nice reports and shared. If you feel like you don't know how to start, just pick those people's files and use what they just replicate exactly what they did. Learn the rationale behind what the analyst had for the reports. If you can, maybe read the requirements as well. There are different challenges. There's data DNA, there's enterprise DNA's challenge, and I think there's one other one. But yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Maria, and thanks so much, Deji, for accepting our invite. Today's session was actually very awesome. Hello. Thank you. Okay, so there's a question. I think Michael mentioned it. It's usually asked at the ending. It's just so Maria's kind of answered the second question. So like advice for those that want to get started. So I was giving you like tips and a paths which you should follow to get started and to learn Power BI. So just maybe just a little bit about your journey. So how did you get started in data analysis and Power BI? Hello, Maria.
Okay.
Yeah.
I it's a long story. Oh my God. Fortunately, I wish I had like better health today. Okay, so my journey started I honestly I can't wait to have my session and maybe talk about it in depth. But
okay,
I was
so
working.
I'll
summarize.
Yeah, of course, just wait till maybe
Okay,
your
so I was
session.
working with a company after my NYSC, and I wanted to work in the sales department, and I was told that I needed to know Microsoft Excel to work there. So I went to New Horizon to learn Microsoft Excel. And I felt it was okay. I wasn't, to be honest, at that time in my life, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just living my NYSC dream. And then I met these guys that are really good at Python, and they introduced me to Python. So I really started on the deep end, as opposed to most people, they start from like the softer side. And along the line, I heard about Power BI, and I picked up Power BI, and then I started. I started working with a Microsoft partner like shortly after then. So that really helped with my knowledge of business requirements, understanding just different business stakeholders and like their needs. I wasn't perfect, and sure, till now I still think of myself better with like visualizations than anything else. I'll be very honest with you. But it forced me. I was learning on the job, so it really forced me to think about the different industries, and it was a consulting role. And then shortly after that, like a year later, I came to the UK for my master's. And then my master's degree really like honed everything for me, because some of the things I knew separately came together as a whole. And my lecturers were very helpful. So during my master's as well, because I had knowledge of Power BI, I was able to get a role in global public health, and so I was building reports. And my role was like it was a mashup of data engineering and data analytics. So I was doing more of engineering, pipelines, transformations, it's just things like that on the AWS side. But we would get clients once in a while on the Power BI side. So it was global public health, but it was still consultation. So I resigned from that role in March, and I will be starting in retail fashion next month, also as a Power BI developer. And I would say that in all of this, I mean, for people who are just starting, you can get really overwhelmed because you tend to interact with people from time to time and you feel like they have it all figured out. But I would say, yes, there are people who are really good, yes, but a lot of people will say to you that Google still is like your best friend, and just starting and just sitting down with a pen and a piece of paper and scribbling your thoughts before even like immersing yourself in the work helps. So don't let the overwhelming like mindset of, oh, I've seen this visual, this person, like on the data challenges. Sometimes I see how people do fantastic work with tooltips and navigations, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to do that. And I let that obsession with what other people are doing affect like other things. So in the time that I took off work, I decided to learn my style of visualizing data, learn my style of modeling data, just approaching data and seeing it as a fun thing instead of like a chore. So that's just been my journey. I look forward to starting this new role as well, but there are bits and pieces in between that I would like to talk about. But yes, I look forward to my session to discuss these bits. Thank you. So Deji, over to you.
Thank you so much. I think JJ has left the call. Thank you so much, Maria. And I'm actually looking forward to your session. Looking forward to your session. And thank you for and
honestly,
congratulations on the new job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations on the new job.
If anyone has a question, my Twitter DMs are currently locked because I don't know how to manage the volume of questions I usually get there. I'm sorry, but I respond to my LinkedIn. And then I have a website where you can fill a form and ask me any question, and I usually respond to that as quickly as possible as well. So I'll just put it in the chart for anyone that has a question.
Okay, so thanks so much.
Hope...
You say you aired. Okay, you said you aired.
Yeah, so I think at the start of the session, Mako has said that we're going to ask a question and then someone gets enterprise DNA membership. I don't know.
Yes, so
yes.
JJ was supposed. Okay, yeah. So you and JJ were supposed to ask a question in the chat room, and if somebody will answer the question and get the enterprise DNA membership, so which covers like courses, the analytic ops, and a lot more.
Is it a Center of Excellence license?
Yes.
Wow, so it can I contest?
Okay, maybe you can't actually contest today since you're the speaker, but maybe if you come for a session as an attendee, yes, you can contest.
Yeah. Okay, I think off Deji's session, what can I ask?
Okay, so the rules of the game of the answering the question is, so Maya will ask the question, and you have to just put your answer in the chat box, and she will put a thumbs up on and the first answer that's close to what she wants or is the correct answer.
Okay.
So I said close to
brave.
because I think one session we had somebody asked the question and nobody could answer it. So the speaker had to go with half the answer.
Okay.
Yeah, so
oh wow. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? It's just first to answer. Okay.
yeah, just first answer.
Oh wow.
No,
okay.
yes, be correct. Yes, be correct.
No, I said it doesn't have to be complicated.
Depends on you can make it complicated.
Depends okay, so do I type the question in the in the chat box?
Oh no, you can just say the question. That's all right.
Okay. Okay, so if you have a CSV file or an Excel file, so for instance, the data that we used today, what is the first thing you need to look at with the table before doing any other transformations? There was a very crucial step that you highlighted with the data. Oh my God, okay. Keep going, okay. I think the person that answers exactly the way it's written in Power BI gets it. So it's not just like you have to answer it the way it's written. What is the first step when you're dealing with Excel CSV files? Yes, and you just look at the table. What's the first thing you should look out for before doing any other transformation?
What first True said was
okay, so one of the things I like to say, data analysts always have to pick the most assuring decision because we are decision makers. So you cannot pick two kinds of answers to play safe. You have to decide the answer you want. And I want it to be answered the way it is in Power BI. So I think that I should count to 10, and after 10, 1, 2, come on guys, give it a shot. Enterprise DNA membership is really it. Honestly, I can't lie to you. It's let me tell you one of the things I love about Enterprise DNA. So they have something called the Analyst Hub. Just please know that I'm counting. I've counted to 3 now. They have something called the Analyst Hub, and there you can actually pre-plan your entire analysis before you even get to Power BI. They have something that can modify your DAX codes. It's called DAX Editor. So many things. So fight for this. Okay, so the question is, when you import a CSV file, an Excel file, or just any of these Excel formats, what is the first thing you should consider as you look at the table before doing any other transformations? What is the first thing you should consider just by looking at the table? Six, 7, okay, 8, 9. The bell is going. Ariola, Bukola, Anthony, Trust, Ngozi, y'all don't want it? It's free membership. Oh my God. Okay, and we're done. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the charts and just see. So the first person that answered almost a minute after I asked the question was Francis. He said headers, but actually in Power BI it's use first row as headers. So it's partially correct, but because of the nature of this call, we had to get as close to the truth as possible. So Ibuka said, convert first row to ever. So Francis then said, check if the first row, no. Samuel, can you repeat? Okay, so Francis said, check if the first row. Okay, so Pfizer said promote first row as header, which is correct because in the drop down bar, it's called promote first row as header, and then in the tab it's called use first row as header. So that is actually correct. So if I
Oh, you have to give a thumbs up on the answer. I don't know the answer.
the answer is promote first row as header, but I'm gutted because Francis got it. He just did not put it the way. Oh my god, this is why they cannot make me a judge. Oh my god. Okay, Pfizer got it because it's promote first row as header.
Okay, so Pfizer, you should send send an email with your full name out to this email which I kept right now in the just like send me an email and I would take it up from here. So by tomorrow I will send in an email which will have the link of how you can log in and get access to your learning hub and analytics hub. So conversation. So next week by the same time again, 6 o'clock. Pastor says share with you.
I know. I honestly, I wish we could do something. I'm so sorry. Don't worry.
So it's first rows as first from what first was I said as not columns.
Wait. It's first row as headers actually. Is first row. Wait, hold on. What did Pfizer write? Ah, she got it wrong. She wrote first. Pfizer, sorry. Heartbreak. Oh my god. Okay, Francis, actually, you won it. But wait, hold on. You said check if the first row has been promoted as the header. That's so long. It's just use first row as header.
I guess it's Francis. Okay, so Francis.
Yeah.
Okay, so Francis, just send me an email. Sorry, Fraser. You can come next week. It's the same.
Okay, yeah, Francis got it. Pfizer, we're very sorry. Oh my god. Yes, it's promote first row. Francis, look at you. Okay.
So Francis, now will you share with Francis?
Okay, this is why I will not be invited to be on any judging shows. Okay. That was fun.
Yeah. And again, thank you so much for accepting our invites, and I hope to see you for your session I think it's in November or September.
Yeah, November. I think the dates in October are back to back for me.
Okay. So next week by 6 o'clock, we also have Thank you. Okay, so next week, we also have another session. We're going to be looking at text analysis in Power Query. This is our guest speaker. So you could RSVP for the session. And so just go on the link and RSVP for the session. You can also join the community by logging on the meetup. So every Sunday we have different sessions from various sources from all over the world, and they come and they talk about something on Power BI or Power Apps or Power Query or Power Platform, even Power Pivot, like everything. So just join the community and let's learn for 1 hour every weekend. So thank you again.
Take care, everyone. Keep powering. If that's what they call it, keep being a power addict. I don't recall. Anyway, keep learning and sharing. Yeah. I speak with you guys in November, hopefully.
In November.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to end the session, but I'm waiting for. So I don't know. Maybe first you can drop your LinkedIn, because once I end the session, it will push everybody out and you can't communicate anymore. So maybe you should drop like a form of contact if you want Pfizer to like reply you. Okay, so you got that already. Francis. All right, so I'm ending the session now. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm leaving. Thank you.